Hi guys, welcome back to Adventure 365, the channel that's going places. And like I said, we're straight back on with where we left off the last video, and we're doing the seat box. Right, now I've finished playing with the dogs, back to this job. Now I've got to drill out all the rivets to take this battery box out, and then we'll get this in and fit the new one. So lots of unriveting. This truck seems to have spent a lot of time with rivets with this truck. There you go, millions of them. Yeah, it disappeared then. And I want to know which one of you will be the first one to come up with in the comments says, oh, that's riveting. There's the captive nut plates I made before. I had a wing nut for that somewhere. That'll turn up in a minute. There we go, one very nice Galvy battery box. And there's the wing nut. Off to eBay with you. So what I want to do is put that in, drop the seat box on, then drill all the holes. There's a little bit of wiggle room in this, which is a good and a bad thing, but it means you can really mess it up if you did it out of the car. So I'm going to drop the seat box in, line everything up, then drill the holes and then bolt it in. But I tell you what, that is really strong once it's in because it sits nicely on top of that chassis rail. So yeah, I'm going to get someone to give me a lift. Come give me a hand. No, this door doesn't stay open. Just watch the paint. You'll have to lift that end up. Yep, go on. Under the steering wheel. Right. You kind of got that? No, you haven't. All the rubber's fell off. Right. Right, flick the rubber back onto the seat box and it'll even up the weight a bit. So the rubber's the heaviest bit. That's it. The hammer needs to be in that position. There you go. Has it ripped out? Yes. You'd never know. Well, if it was ripped out, I could have taken it off. Good job I offered that up. The rivet holes at the back of the seat box here line up with the aluminium on the inside. this row that I've taken out here don't line up. I'm going to have to re-drill over this side because that is literally the edge of the battery box there. So it's a good job I didn't rivet it up out of the car because I wouldn't have known that till I got it in. So definitely put this together first and drop it in place. I think everything else lines up. Might have to do, a couple of the front ones don't, but everything else looks to line up. So these ones are going to need drilling. There's a piece of plate there and a piece of plate there. That one's fine. And everything else looks okay. So I can start actually riveting. I'll rivet the seat box back together first. I didn't need to take that rivet out there. But other than that, I'm just going to put a new row of rivets in. Job done. Gets that bit back together. Oh, they even put a cutout in there so you don't have to drill that. Oh, that's good. Right, so a couple of more rivets. Stage one, done. Oh, God. I'm knackered now. Karen's just come back with chips and curry. I just had chips and curry and a beer and I'm absolutely shot now. Don't fancy drilling any more holes. Holes, more rivets. Yes, this truck is all held together with the rivets. Oh well, better crack on. Okay, I've done the rivets at the front because that was virtually impossible to see for you, so I did that. Must have a rivet stuck on the inside because it won't go through. Yep, there's definitely a rivet stuck in there. I think I missed. Right. Oh no, it runs out there. Yeah, okay. I didn't miss. The lip runs out there. Done. Sorted. Clean up. Bolt this seat box in because it doesn't need to come out again. I've had a mad, what, 45 minutes, an hour without the camera on. I've got the seat box all buttoned up, just bolted it all back in. So all the back bolts are in, side bolts and floor and sill bolts. Pulled the battery cables through because I've got my next job coming on that. And I've connected up the handbrake, so I've got a working handbrake now as well. So today we've actually got quite a lot achieved. So what I'm going to do is drop this floor plate in and the transmission tunnel, and then I'm going to get a pile of bits out. So what, just getting the floor plates back in makes a world of difference. The starts to look like a truck again. Well, what a difference 2 hours makes. I didn't record any of this, guys, because it was just screwing stuff in, but Beryl's got an interior. There's no seats in yet because we're going to get the seats recovered. But I may just chuck the driver's seat back in just so I can move her around. Because literally I could put the battery in and she's drivable. But saying she's drivable, well, she is drivable. Everything's attached. The brakes work. I know this because we moved the last time. So I know the brakes work. I know the gearbox works. The new transfer box should work. All the linkages work. I've just checked them. It's selecting high, low, neutral, diff lock. Won't know till it's moving, but and it's got power and it puts the light on, but everything seems to work, so everything's lined up, everything's where it should be, so I can't see it not working. But well, I've got this seat out, this passenger seat. I want to fit split charger, want that in. It's easy to do now while there's no seat in. Well, the batteries are over there, and I want to put an inverter in. It's actually easier to do it now than later, because I want it going behind the back of the passenger seat, so I'm going to mount it on the little bit of bulkhead that's left, run it through into the battery box. So everything in the battery box will be pretty much done, bar the power pickup for the switch unit that's going in. But yeah, so that's my job for tomorrow. So I will carry on doing this in the morning, which will be like a split second for you, and I'll be back. And just like that, it's the next day. And it's still quite early. Okay, battery fitting. Now, I've had a play with the batteries that I've got. The 2 batteries I wanted to fit, which are over there, are too big, and the other 2 batteries I've got are too small. So I'm going to actually fit the 2 smaller ones, and then I'm going to have to go and buy another set of batteries which are bigger. They're the big cranking batteries. Let me just show you. That's the battery I was going to use as my cranking battery. These are the 2 batteries I'm going to have to use, which when you put them side by side are considerably smaller. See if I can do this with one hand. Hang on. They're heavy. Yeah, considerably smaller. What I need is a battery that's about that size. This one's literally that much too big to go in, so that's annoying. But I've just run a battery test on that one. It says it's bad. It's must have a cell on its way out, but it's big enough. It's a big enough battery to actually still turn the truck over, so I'm not so worried that one's dead. Those 2 I've just run a battery test on, and they both come up good and recharge, so they're going to be fine. So, like I said, that one is what's that say? 86 amp hour. I can get a 100 amp hour one in as a leisure battery, and that's 570 cold cranking amp battery. I'll get it out. There you go. So I can get like a 650 to just under a 700 in. So that'll be fine. But I can do all the wiring with them, and I know what size batteries. I can leave enough on the cables to just go a little bit bigger. Actually, a bit bigger. I mean, the cables will be too long, so there's no problem with that. So let's get on with the rest of the wiring. Now, just saying about batteries, I could have actually got away with just putting 1 battery in this box, but the reason I put this box in, I wanted 2 batteries. That's my front door. Yeah, every little bit of space I can use. If I can get 2 batteries in here, it gives me a bit more storage space at the back. So that's why I want to put this inverter behind the seat, because then it takes up no space in the back and it uses a void up behind the seat. I want to get the split charger, which doesn't. Let me just show you what's in the split charger. You've got split charger unit. You can see that, yeah. The split charger unit, fused link, crash. Another fused link to the battery. These were the shortest ones. You order them by the length, and I ordered a meter, and which means I could put the battery in the back, but I don't want to, so I'll probably just cut one of these links off and shorten it down. I've got plenty of these crimps. Surely somewhere there should be another wire. I'm hoping there is. Ah, there you go. There's the other wire. Just got in the house. Post came. New speedo drive. One that's not broken. So I can finish the gearbox off now. So I'm just going to stick that speedo drive in and then get back on with this battery. Yeah, that'll make life a lot easier. That's the speedo drive chucked in anyway. That's just a case of pushing it in and 1 bolt. So that's sorted. Right, let's get these batteries in. God, they're still heavy even though they're little. Right. Put my slightly undersized battery in. When I say undersized, I mean tiny. Ah, that battery might not work. Then get the camera, I'll show you what's going on. Oh, there you go, you can see what's going on. I'll get a battery to go all the way over to there, so I've got that much more room to get a bigger battery in. That'll be fine, and I've got, which will make that cable just, I think my earth cable's too short. I might have another earth cable to reach over to the other side, but that earth's going to be too short. So I may be making up an earth cable in a minute. This is becoming slightly more difficult than I thought. Definitely more difficult than I thought. See, that won't reach there. No, I've got one more cable there, so that ain't going to reach there. It might do. It's going to be tight, so if I put a bigger battery in, that's going to be too short. That's not ideal. £100 leisure battery that way, that's fine. We can wire the leisure battery up anyway. Ideally we could do a turn in that one. So do I make up a longer earth lead? Because that only bolts to the battery, that one does. So, sorry, that only bolts to the gearbox. So I can unbolt it off the side of the gearbox. That would give us a lot more room if we could turn them both facing the same way. Because that does leave a dirty great void here. Wiring. Did I tell you I hate wiring? Right, let me go and have a look in my pile of earth leads. Bonus. I've just been and found another earth lead. This one's off a disco. So it's considerably longer and it'll bolt straight to the gearbox. So I can just replace the earth lead, turn that battery around, push them in. It'll give me loads of room in here now. And I'll still be able to get the bigger batteries in. So I'm just going to bolt this onto the gearbox, pull the other one out, and we'll carry on playing with batteries. That is a much longer earth lead. It comes all the way over here. Yeah, no, you still can't see the end of it, but it reaches all the way to the end of the end over here of the battery case. So that means I can turn this battery around. So let's get that one out. Now before anyone says, I am going to put some tie downs for the batteries in, but I want to get everything in first. Oh, that's going to work fine now. So that one can go on. That'll power up to, that's my electric fans. So that's the electric fans, and obviously that's the earth. So that's where that's going to live. Like I said, we can get a 300mm battery in here. These are 260mm, so I can get a 300 in, which will be a bonus. That'll be more juice for everything we need to run. I'll leave that one off. Yeah, that's going to work fine. So at the back of my head you could see in the shot then. And that should be everything powered up. So we'll leave the live off for now. And we'll get the other battery in. The other way of the other benefit of having the batteries in this way means the lives are in the middle, so we can protect them better. The last thing you want is your batteries shorting out. Well, Karen does, because she'll be sitting directly above them. This seat's getting warm, dear. Right, let's work out where everything's going, and I'll put the camera back on once I know where everything's going. I was just looking at the split charger and thinking there should be a wire coming off this. And there is. They put it in the back out the way. So that needs to go to earth, so I can literally connect that to the other earth if I want to. So we've got a positive wire, and actually I think they're both positive, aren't they, because this will just be switching through. So one will go to your charge battery, which will probably be the one that's marked red, and one will go to your leisure battery, whichever way around it goes. I'll show you once I know. I have instructions. There we go. Right, so that one that isn't marked red is your house battery, so that goes to your leisure battery, and the one that marks red goes to your crank battery. So that's fairly easy, isn't it? Just while I've got this here, I might as well just put these leads on so I know where they're going. And it does actually say on the inside as well, yeah, which way around they go. I think we may end up having to shorten these leads as well. So I think they're a tad long. Oh, I'll never find that again. We have to take the batteries out now. Now, I've just pulled all the batteries out because I want to put the voltage sensing charger in. I'm thinking putting it right up in this corner out of the way. It does make it kind of difficult to drill the holes there. Should be able to do it. I think I can get the drill in there. Now the reason I put it in this corner was, if I put it down here, lifting the batteries in and out, it'll keep on getting hit. I'm thinking right up in that corner there, it's not going to have any issues with being hit by anything. And it's also the highest point of the battery box as well, so think that is going to work the best for me. I was going to have to now. I've drilled a hole. The kit comes with these really nice screws as well. They look stainless. Should be good. It's threaded now. I think I'm going to wind that in with a screwdriver, so I'll be back in a minute. And I've started it off with a screwdriver, and both of the holes seem to line up, so that's a positive. I can't get that one in, I'll have to do it with a screwdriver. It's a good spot, but it's really tight to get to. Yeah, I've got to leave room in here for the solar panel leads as well. At least the voltage controller won't be in here then. That's lovely. That's not going anywhere. My microphone keeps on falling off, guys. Oh look, it's a lot more wires than we need. Well, it looks like nothing's changed, but it has. I've put the earth from the switch from the controller to the gearbox rather than to the battery, so it's earth to the body, and I've earthed this one, which is the earth for the other battery, to the gearbox as well. So everything's earth to the gearbox. Might as well use the factory gearbox, factory earths if we can. So I've just got to connect up the live and chuck the battery in. So there's nothing actually stopping me connecting this live up because there's no fuse in, because I've got the fuse link here. And if you can't see it, but I'll show you after. There's nothing stopping me connecting them now. So in theory that works now. So I'm just going to alter that so we can get that battery all the way over. And you see how much more room that gives me for a bigger battery to go in. So I'll get a 100 amp hour battery in there, and a 650, maybe 700 cold cranking amp main battery. Right, I'm going to sort that out and I'll be back. Right, didn't need to lengthen this cable. All I actually needed to do was move the batteries to the middle, and I've got plenty of clearance under here, so I'll get a rubber boot for that, so it doesn't touch anything, so that'll be fine. I've got to make an earth clamp, so I have to drill down there with 2 rods and put an earth clamp, battery clamp, you know what I mean, you know exactly what I meant. That terminal's just come out of there, so I'll have to fix that. That's for my fan motor. Yeah, so all I've got to do is put a fuse in. Like I say, I'm going to change these batteries, but as you can see now, they both fit perfectly. There is just enough on that cable if you move them to there. because obviously moving it that way gives you more cable. That was like a no-brainer, wasn't it? So I can get 2 bigger batteries in. I'll just fix that, and we're ready to test this. So let me just fix that and I'll be back. So there you go, guys, that's all wired in now. It should work. I say, got to make a battery clamp or battery clamps, and we've got to add more stuff on. We've got a lot more wiring to do yet. I guess really the moment of truth is, will it start? It's working fine. I'll turn that off because there's no oil in that gearbox. Yeah, lights on, split charger works. Right, that is good. Hey, something that works. Wow, it works. It's charging, light's still on, so the relay works. So we've now got a gearbox, a transfer box, split charging system, which is nearly a real truck. I've got loads of little bits to do. But what I'm going to do is, as usual, I'm going to knock the video on the head here, and we'll pick it up in another episode where we finish a load more wiring and probably do some work on the back axle. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you on the next one.
Almost. Almost.